Greetings, fellow Star Trek Starship Collector. This is Joshua Mitchell here. This month we have got the 9th episode of the die-cast official Star Trek Starships collection from Fanhome. We will be looking at the Excelsior, U.S.S. Excelsior. This is the Excelsior 2 class vessel from Star Trek Picard Season 2. We'll unbox it together, take a look at all of the details of the ship, and how it measures up comparison-wise to some of the other vessels that have come in Fanhome series so far. Come on back and let's get started. Okay, here we go. Time to open up the Excelsior. So let's cut our little sticker. And hopefully she's all in one piece. Haven't seen any kind of damage or anything online, so that's always a nice thing to see. As always, we begin with our little design document. Why don't we take a dive inside and see what's going on? The U.S.S. Excelsior was launched in 2401, but only served for 1 year, being destroyed during Frontier Day in 2402. The ship was originally intended to play a larger role in Season 2 of Star Trek Picard before things went in another direction. In designing the Excelsior 2 class, decisions were made to make the vessel evoke the original Excelsior class, which had been in Starfleet service for well over 100 years, but with a more modern aesthetic that would make it fit alongside a ship like the Enterprise E. Notably, the ribbed neck and some of the same basic designs around the warp nacelle struts were kept, along with a similar shape for the secondary hull. However, it has a more oval saucer and more streamlined warp nacelles, which are reminiscent of the Sovereign class. At one point, Terry Metalis noted that the new Excelsior looked too much like the Enterprise E, only to be reminded that the Sovereign class itself was designed pulling heavy inspiration from the original Excelsior class. With this reminder, Metalis had to continue down the path, and we ended up with the design we see now. All right, well, always fascinating to go through the design doc and see what they did in terms of the creation process. But now let's get to what we really want to see here, which is the U.S.S. Excelsior. So she looks a little smaller just right out the jump from what I was expecting and anticipating, but she's definitely hefty. Her saucer is all the die-cast metal, with the resin being in the secondary hull and the warp nacelles. So she feels very top-heavy, very heavy in general. Kind of hard to fly her around because you feel like you're fighting the, the weight of the saucer. But the detail looks really nice, and I bet you'd like to see more. So why don't we go ahead and take a deeper look at the Excelsior. We begin our tour of the Excelsior by looking at the saucer. There's her registry. We see nice detailing and design here with the escape pods, the phaser strips, the coloring. Here's the window issue, and it has returned just as we would expect. It's so notable because of the high concentration of windows here. As we go back, we see some really cool detail. I thought I'd kind of key in on this. We see this on all of these modern starships, but it just looks really neat. We have the fins coming off the back of the saucer like with the Excelsior 1 class, and then of course similar design in the struts and secondary hull for the Excelsior 2 class. Along the bottom we see not a whole lot of details, but again similar, very evocative of the Excelsior. But here's an issue. Underneath you see it says U.S.S. Excelsior. I don't know what ship that is, but I'm guessing that every one of these ships has this problem, and I don't know that they'll fix it. So at least it's tucked away underneath where no one can really see, but it's an annoyance. Here we have continued beautiful coloring. We have more windows along the bottom, which again, the marks don't match up. We have our blue clear acrylic here for the deflector dish, and then that ribbed neck, again from the original Excelsior. She's really a beautiful looking ship. Nice little amount of detail. Here's a shot of her from the fore. We also have an aft shot here, as you can see. She's pretty lengthy. And then a nice side shot from starboard to give you a bit of her profile. So our first size comparison will be with the Stargazer against the Excelsior. So 7 3/4 inches or 19.68 centimeters on the Stargazer to 8 5/8 inches or 21.9 centimeters on the Excelsior. So a bit of a difference, but again, both ships from the modern era looking nice next to each other. For our next comparison, we'll look against the Titan A, and they're close enough that I'll say both of them are 8 5/8 inches or 21.9 centimeters. Excelsior may come in just under that, but they're close enough that I'm comfortable saying they're similar. Now for a big difference. This is the Excelsior up against the XL Enterprise F. So again, Excelsior is coming in at 8 5/8 inches or 21.9 centimeters, whereas the Enterprise XL is 10.5 inches, 26.67 centimeters. So a big difference between the standard and the XL size ship here. But again, both models looking really nice next to each other. So there we have it. The U.S.S. Excelsior. Sad that she only served for a year, but she's a fine-looking vessel. Very evocative of the old Excelsior class style that had been in service in Starfleet for well over 100 years, but also a modern take. It looks upgraded. It looks sleek like the Sovereign class, which makes sense because the Sovereign actually took notes from the Excelsior design. So you can see how they kind of married the two. The overall look and design of the ship is really cool. The window problem has returned, and it's very notable up in the top. And another big miss, check yours. So your saucer will likely say U.S.S. Excelsior, but down around in the back underneath, it may say U.S.S. Excelsion. No good. I doubt they're going to do anything to help us out with that. Maybe yours will be spared, but I imagine they're all probably produced that way. It looks great next to the Stargazer. It's cool to have this modern fleet that's coming out from these newer series. What do you think of the Excelsior? Do you like its design? Do you like its look? Let me know it in the comments down below. And if you do like it, I hope you get a chance to get it once it's on sale by itself with Fanhome's website. Now, come back next month. We'll be hitting the halfway mark in the Fanhome series for the official Star Trek Starships collection. Episode 10 will be the U.S.S. Dauntless, Admiral Janeway's vessel from Star Trek Prodigy Season 1. So I hope you can come back and join me as we take a deeper look at that vessel. In the meantime, I'm Joshua Mitchell. Live long and prosper.